My name is Salim Rolla, and here with Vrad Shroff, I'm going to present to you our final product for Tractivity. This presentation will sort of give you an overlook of the design process we use in our product from the first prototype to the one we finally ended up with, and I hope you enjoy. So over the last year, the main topic for teachers has been virtual learning. There's sort of this one pondering question: how can we effectively evaluate students on video chat? And how fair are we being evaluating them in systems that we've never used to evaluate them in, physical to online evaluation? So based on that question, we did a lot of primary research, just sort of probing them to think cautiously about the differences between virtual and in-person learning techniques and teaching techniques. How comfortable were they using the video chat? Some new habits they needed to cultivate, and sort of how they've been tracking attendance and participation. So this survey on the right just gives you an overlook of what we really use there. There are a lot of probing questions, and we sort of asked them how comfortable they were and how long they'd be using online. This is just one of the surveys we used. Secondary research, we sort of looked at apps that track attendance, participation, and we found Apple App Store and Google Classroom's App Store to be very useful in helping us find information for this. We're also reading several articles that just focused on new habits, struggles, evaluation methods, and existing theories on setting new standards for virtual learning, just to sort of get an idea of where the academic field and educational field is now. There were a lot of insights. 73% of our participants were still not adapted to remote learning. And this was weird because they'd been doing it for almost a full year now. And a lot of teachers, 65% of them actually mentioned that they don't think they have the right resources to actually teach these classrooms really well. They also mentioned a lot of students and even some teachers mentioned having anxiety and other mental health issues, excuse me, having to do with being cooped up on their laptops all day. So a lot of them had problems with that. Teachers also mentioned that they're not very confident in their new evaluation methods online because they're used to using these in the classroom, but they're not really conversant with applying them in a virtual space, and wonder out if it's actually worth it and if it's feasible to teach them like that. 90% of teachers said it was hard remembering everybody who participated in a virtual space. And that's a key point there, which lets us know that a lot of people are being overlooked, and it's only those who talk the most who are actually being looked at. We went through a lot of the apps, and they have some user design issues, but their Excel sheets and similar ways to make teaching easier gave us a lot of insights for how we should go about it. After we read some articles, we realized that a lot of students were very introverted, and virtual learning actually made that harder for them because having their face up there, they know people can record. A lot of people are just maybe laughing behind their screen. And a lot of those things just show people that like online virtual learning is not any easier for people who are introverted. A lot of them also really use the chat icon. So we're sort of thinking in our design process, how can we get the most out of these chat functions in these Zoom and other video conferencing chats? Sort of finding an algorithm that would help teachers easily tie this all together. So we made up a user profile. This is a professor who's really popular at Penn. He teaches big classes like corporate finance. And even though he's used to juggling these big classes, he doesn't know if he has the right resources to take over the class fully virtually. He's a strong and charismatic teacher, but he wants to know how the new things he's implementing, whether it be new breakout rooms or new strategies to get involvement, are actually working, aside just having the Penn course review midway through the semester and stuff like that. He wants more data. So Professor Dressler is actually a great example of the type of user we wanted. This then birthed Tractivity, which can help them input their attendance and participation, upload notes and share messages with students, gain insights on how their class is performing, and actually use those insights to study new strategies to implement in their class. These were some of our first iterations. We're not coders in any way, so we're just sort of working more on the functionality and user interface of our app. These are just some sort of SketchUps, and through these, we were able to actually do a demo video to show a lot of people, and this was helpful in our testing of the product. So we reached out to 10 teachers and instructors about really asking them, what do you want from an app like this? And we then ran the flowchart with them and showed them some of the demos to get them a feel of how the app actually worked. Then we provided them with rating cards to be able to give us some feedback based on appearance, ease of use, transparency, and the impact on teaching. We also ran some A/B tests to sort of see where their heads are at, UI interface wise, and these are some iterations we came up with. This is for notes. You see some settings over here. And for our pricing, we're going for $9.99 a month and $99.99 a year. But we will have a freemium model so people can actually see the product and actually use it, because we want a lot of people to actually learn a lot from our product. So we want to improve effectiveness of evaluation in virtual space. And we are hoping that armed with these new insights, teachers will actually help improve their classes a lot and look more at students who might not be participating a lot. So based off this, we think our final concept would do a good way to close that gap in the market. We're just worried about its functionality being copied by a site like Canvas or other learning platforms. But this is where we want to make our user selling point sort of one that can work on its own, and it's not something that could be easily integrated into another app. So moving forward, we think that will be one key aspect to work on. But naturally, we think this app is up and running, and it's something that will definitely fill a gap and help teachers and students work better online. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you've enjoyed our brief presentation. Hopefully very soon you'll be hearing more from Tractivity as we try to move the product forward.